For centuries, the world has stood in wonder at the beauty of India and its extraordinary culture. India is as well known for its relationship with nature as with its connection to the divine. Whether it is an aesthetic exploration you seek or a spiritual awakening, the experience will undoubtedly prove as challenging as it is exhilarating. But for 16 fortunate students, what began as an adventure in a foreign land became an unforgettable journey into the soul of an ancient civilization. From all different backgrounds and beliefs, each with our own reasons for joining the yatra, we shared a passion for culture and a curiosity about what life might be like on the other side of the planet. Together, we stepped into the sun and onto new ground, preparing for the journey ahead. But as India would soon reveal, nothing could prepare us for the experience we were about to receive. Our world transformed from busy streets to breathtaking views in the foothills of the Himalayas. Though we had come to provide a service, it was clear that there was much to be gained.
The objective of the Bharat Yatra is to encourage people of Indian origin to see India from a different perspective, and that perspective is through the eyes of young adults who travel to India and are driven and excited towards making a difference. I myself am an alumnus of the 2006 Bharat Yatra group to Gujarat, and it is through the experience that we had in Gujarat as a team and New York Life's blessings that we were able to take it further, and the Doce Foundation was born. This year, in 2009, we decided collectively to integrate Bharat Yatra and Doce in order to show people back in the United States through our medical camp that we together can, even a small change that we make together can impact many of those who are in need.
कल से शुरू होगा, हाँ, और आपका पूरा परिवार को लेकर आना है, कोई भी परेशानी, कोई भी बीमारी हो। नमस्ते।
We do mobilization today by making the people aware about who's coming, why we're coming, and what we're going to do.
Everyone's getting out of the trucker, and we're going to go around house to house to go mobilize some of the people to get as many people as we can at the medical camps today.
नमस्ते। कल किमारी प्लॉट में फ्री मेडिकल कैंप है और जरूर आइए। में कैंप लगा हुआ है।
The view here is just so magnificent, but what's even more beautiful than the view are the actual people. And this is Ashi, and she and her mother came to a medical camp yesterday, so it's great how many people are actually helping.
Today already we've seen several people who we saw in the other village, which was way down on the other side, and it's amazing to me that people walk as far as they do and how hospitable they are in both places. When we were there, we were invited inside, and here we're invited inside. Everywhere we go, we're given mangoes and offered something to drink. It's incredible the way people live and how happy they all are.
Life is so different for the people here, especially in these villages. They're just so peaceful. People can, live their day doing daily activities or taking care of their children, farming. And it's really amazing, like they can leave their houses open and go to the jungle to get some wood or something. It's just amazing to come to India and realize, where I'm from and go back and have these memories to remember from.
For some, it was a love of medicine and an early start to a future career. For others, it was a chance to prove themselves capable of more than they thought possible. But for all of us, it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see what extraordinary lives can be lived with one simple focus: the greater good.
It was a truly remarkable experience to see the faces of the people in the villages, because they were all so happy to be receiving health care from students from a different country. Being able to put a smile on their face was a great experience for me. I feel that I did something to help make someone's life better.
Just taking pharmaceutical slip and, writing down their prescription and giving them the medicine. That's all I can do to communicate. That's fine, because that is the most rewarding. Just that smile and the smile return.
One of the cases was the woman with the congestive heart failure. When Dr. Shah asked her why she hadn't seen a doctor before, she said that if she went to a doctor, it costs money, and for medicines, it costs money. And if she buys the medicines, then she doesn't have money for food. That was really heartbreaking. She was lucky to receive the right care at the right time, but there are so many others who don't.
We have seen lots of patients here. We have done a lot of ECGs, we have done ultrasounds.
Dr. Sandhya Shah, who is practicing internal medicine physician, and she has been of great service.
Every single day she comes in and she works all day long. She doesn't take any breaks at all. She sees patients constantly throughout the entire day.
I really want to thank New York Life giving this opportunity to serve our country here, especially working with these young students who are really enthusiastic, and it's been really great experience working with them.
It was surprising to see that many old people, maybe it's 50, 60, 70-year-old people, would walk 30, 40 minutes just to come to get basic services that we just really take for granted. It really showed me that with the resources that we have back home, we really need to do something for the greater good of the people.
Even though the camp was only 10 days long, I feel that it made a significant impact on their life, and they will continue to look after their health, because health is one of the topics that is very close to my heart, and I feel needs significant improvement in India.
Over a span of 10 days in rural Uttarakhand, we were able to touch about 900 lives by providing symptomatic medical care and even counseling them on how to access medical care on a more long-term basis.
As glad as we were to have been a part of their lives, they too had become a part of ours. The friendships that have been formed will always be remembered and made our departure from the camp a bittersweet conclusion to an unforgettable week. Having seen a little of what we could do for India, it was time to see what India was doing for itself, starting with education.
Like, this is junior school, and it is from class KG to class 6.
At the Marshall School, we were able to witness the private education system in action, and even made it in time to catch a story.
He seems to be saying to all who pass, rides in the motor car, and it makes him feel quite sad.
At another school, we had a rare and moving opportunity to experience what India is doing to improve the lives and futures of the visually impaired at the National Institute for the Visually Handicapped.
This institute was established way back in 1943. There were a lot of defense personnel who lost their sight in or during the World War I and II. But soon after India attained its independence, took over the St. Dunstan's Hostel and turned into National Center for the Blind.
After a behind-the-scenes tour of the campus, we had time to speak with some of the students and hear about their future aspirations.
PhD, and after that I want to be a playback singer.
Despite their disadvantages, all of the students had big dreams and were eager to share their talents. Their confidence was overwhelming and their strength an important lesson. Leading merely by example, they showed us the infinite potential of the human spirit, and that our only limits are the ones we create for ourselves. Next, we were off to the Indian Military Academy, where we learned about the daily lives of Indian cadets and the discipline it takes to become one. Admittance into the Indian military is voluntary and demands impressive scores and a nearly perfect record. Despite being an historically peaceful country because of its geographical location, it maintains one of the largest militaries in the world, with over 1 million in the army alone.
These are the ribbons. These basically show the field areas where I have served in. In case you see this blue is there and this white lining is there, that shows mountain.
Very first motivation is job. So anybody who is looking for a job, he definitely comes to the army. And anybody who is little inclined towards a patriotic fervor, he is the one who comes here. And once they come here, it is amazing to see their josh, their dynamism, their enthusiasm. It's very difficult to hold them back.
Here, surprisingly, it's very, very difficult to get into the military, at least into the military academy. And that's kind of amazing that somebody would work that hard in school for that long to go into a field that not only, puts their life in danger, but is an extreme amount of discipline. At the Civiculture Museum, we got a chance to relax and enjoy our natural surroundings and learn more about how they got there in the first place. India lies at the center of the spiritual world, and standing in the middle of a Buddhist monastery, we were able to feel that connection. Committed to protecting all religious life, the country has given refuge to over 150,000 Tibetans over the past 50 years. As awe-inspiring as it was humbling, its very existence proves India's divine importance to not only our history, but to our future. That evening, we dressed to impress for a private audience with Uttarakhand's own Chief Minister, Ramesh Pokhriyal.
पूरी दुनिया के बारे में हिंदुस्तान विचार करता है, केवल अपने बारे में नहीं, और पूरी धरती को अपना परिवार मानते हैं, विश्व बंधुत्व वाला। ये पक्ष आप रखिए और आप उत्तराखंड में आइए, ये धरती का स्वर्ग है।
We climbed high above the clouds to Mussoorie, a popular tourist destination carved into the mountainside. Suspended 6,000 feet above the earth, we further immersed ourselves in Indian culture. From amazing food to gorgeous garments, it was an unbelievable feast for the senses and made it difficult to say goodbye. The colors of India were enchanting, and our experience was not nearly over yet. Our journey led us to an ashram in Rishikesh, where we would bridge the gap between spirituality and service and open our minds to India's warm heart.
I've never been in any place that has so many sights and sounds and smells and can elicit thoughts and emotions that roll into each other.
Paramarth means for the welfare of all. When you are here, prepare yourself in such a way that you can work. Sarvabhut means for the welfare of all. Not only for the human beings, but for the living beings. Take care of the nature. Take care of not the nature outside first, but take care of your nature first. Mahatma Gandhi would say always, we must be the change we want to see in the world. If you go in one village, even for a few months or few weeks, things change. That message coming all the way, they'll keep thinking. These 20 young, beautiful boys and girls, and they were just putting their hand in the trash, and we are sitting here. This will ignite the spark.
Picking up trash from the streets, but that single act itself will inspire so many others, and those people will go inspire further people, and it'll set off like a ripple effect, and that's really how change starts. And I think that's the single most important thing that I've taken from this trip.
The mighty Ganges River is considered to be holy. We were given the opportunity to bathe in its sacred waters with the locals.
In Rishikesh, we learned that a yatra is not about doing, but about being. On our Bharat Yatra, we definitely have done a lot, but at the same time, from our experiences, we've gained so much and we've learned how to be.
Despite popular belief, life in the ashram is never boring. From picking up trash to playing games with the kids, there's always something to do. Like much of our time spent in India, we felt instantly at home and allowed ourselves to take part in the daily lives of our new friends.
I felt extremely fortunate to experience an arti with so much spiritual power, I would say. There were so many young students of the ashram just singing euphorically, and that really inspired me to see how many people were so devoted to a religion.
We're doing this lighting ceremony because we are trying to give reverence to the environment. In the Indian culture, she's not just a river, she's not just a water body, she's not just irrigating our fields, but most importantly, she's irrigating our hearts and our souls and our minds. And when you come to the banks of Ganga, it's like you're sitting in the lap of your Divine Mother.
After our spiritual journey, it was time to become one with nature and take a drive on the wild side at India's famous Corbett National Park.
When we were driving to the safari, we saw kids playing in the puddles created by the rain, and they were so happy and they greeted us with open arms as we were driving by, and that's just a general atmosphere that I've seen here.
Corbett is India's oldest national park and home to the endangered Bengal tiger, and a major attraction to adventure seekers from all over the world. We flew through the jungle on a wildlife safari, scanning the trees for exotic species and a rare photo opportunity. Unfortunately, most of the animals weren't interested in performing that day, but lucky for us, monkeys are always happy to entertain. We forged on through the fog of the summer monsoon and encountered some of the dangers caused by the seasonal rains. We made our way up to an abandoned church where we met some amazing and talented women, widows of war veterans employed as weavers in an effort to bring opportunity to those who've lost it.
Even though they were only making around 2,000 rupees a month, any sort of income in such a condition is beneficial to their families and to themselves.
It was really nice to see that they had an opportunity to make a living for themselves instead of being dependent on government provision.
We were able to give back to that in a very small way by purchasing shawls that were made in that factory.
We continued until we reached Kosani, a peaceful mountain town nestled just below the Himalayan peaks, known for having one of the world's best views of the snow-covered natural wonder.
I saw the Himalayas for the first time in Kasani. They were more than I could ever imagine. I think they're definitely one of the top 3 sites I've ever seen in my life. And they're beautiful, and they're just majestic, and they're steadfast, and they hold so much history.
We were given a rare opportunity to see the Gandhian philosophy in action at the Lakshmi Ashram.
The ashram essentially revolves around vocational training and some educational aspects that revolve around the Gandhian way of teaching. And we conversed with a gentleman by the name of David, who is of British origin and has been in India in the Kasani region for the last 35 years.
I thought it was very impressive how he gave up his very comfortable life to come into the foothills of the Himalayas and pretty much dedicate his time to these underprivileged girls and provide them with a completely unique education.
On the ideals of education that Gandhi had, an education that was related to the daily life based on craft and agriculture or on spinning and weaving. It was totally academic and really was just seeking to educate people to then become cogs in the bureaucracy.
His motivation for coming to India from England was one of total service. So that's something that really fascinates me.
We visited a Mahatma Gandhi ashram where Gandhi actually lived in for about 14 days. And in the ashram there were pictures depicting different images from Gandhi's life. And Gandhi is the father of our country, and he did so much for India, for their independence movement, and also for promoting nonviolence.
Next, we visited an ancient temple devoted to goddess Parvati, the divine mother and wife of Lord Shiva.
It's estimated to be anywhere from 900 to 1100 years old, which I don't think I've ever seen anything remotely that old before. It makes you notice every single detail, every single rock and stone and every carving.
It's amazing that it can be so perfect and so beautiful, even though it was built without any technology, any equipment, anything, just by man's hands.
There's nothing more exciting than crashing a local wedding. We were immediately invited to dance and join in the festivities. In just a short time, we'd experienced India in a way that no tourist ever would. Not as strangers, but as brothers and sisters, sons and daughters. Most of all, we were offered unconditional love and trust from people we never met. At the Jhula Devi Mandir, we were asked to make a wish, write it on a piece of paper, and attach it to one of the thousands of bells that envelop the temple. Legend tells that if the wish comes true, we must return to the temple and hang a bell of our own.
I felt really privileged to come on this trip to go around and see places that only Indian citizens that really just live in India get to experience, because it completely changes your view and perspective of the country that you should really know about because it's where you were born.
India cannot be fully experienced unless you see it through your own eyes. India is a country that must be touched, that must be felt before you can actually make a connection to it. And there's only so much that it can be experienced behind the lens of a camera.
Here, surrounded by the beauty of this miraculous place where the history of our world began, we were able to reflect on our journey as a whole, what we had learned, how we were changed, and what to wish for in a country that had already given us more than we ever could have dreamed. Home, it seems, truly is what you make of it, and life who you spend it with. You can find beauty in a photograph, but life is only beautiful in the company you keep.
We hope to come back to India, hopefully provide some sort of service in the future, depending on our career, whatever we can do.
I thought, personally, that I had lost my connection to India. Then I joined this Yatra program, and this came out of it, and I can't stop coming back. And it's something that I think that's just the best gift anyone can receive. It's this connection to India, this connection to its people.
If someone's having trouble in something, give them help. That's what we do in India. That's what I've learned here. And that's what I want to share with everyone else when I go back to America. We went to ashrams, we went to Corbett Park, we went to Mandirs, and each experience that we had changed us in a different way.
I feel like India is a country that's on the brink of so many things. I feel like in the future, it's going to become an economic powerhouse, and it's going to be leading the world in a lot of different industries.
Here, progress is preservation. You can preserve your history and still move forward.
Gandhi always encouraged others to be the change that they wanted to see in the world. This is an important message that we've learned through Bharat Yatra because we've seen how we can improve India or how we can help others because we have a duty to give back to it when we've learned so much from India as well.
Even a small gesture can change someone's life, and seeing that feedback makes me want to go back and help more and interact with these people more.
Anybody, I would say, not to visit India as tourists, just visiting the Taj Mahal or visiting the India Gate, but to really experience India, to meet with the people, interact with them, and learn about their culture, traditions, and history.
Even though I sound American, I talk American, I look American, my heart is truly Indian.
Going away now after 5 weeks, I have to say that while I wasn't expecting to really be changed in many ways, I'll never be the same after this.
To invest a little bit of yourself, be it in the form of time, be it in the form of money, to India. Because India is one of those few beautiful countries in the world that will always give you much more than you can ever give it.